Hello, I'm Tom Garrett. I'm the founder and on-site manager for the Cacao Farm, and I made a couple videos about the forestry work I'm doing on our farm. The south 20 acres of our property is dedicated to regrowing a native rainforest. I'm also in charge of all the food production on the north side of our property and taking care of guests and being the on-site host when I'm there. But anyways, I just want to explain this video a little bit. In video number 3, I'm going to go into much more detail. Uh-oh. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's our security dog, who is awesome, German Shepherd. This is a Madronio. That's a young Madronio, and up above it, that is a pioneer tree. Pioneer tree means, well, in a rainforest, normally what would happen is one canopy tree would die. There's a ton of shade at the ground level, and so a new baby canopy tree would grow towards the hole for the sunlight. It grows very slowly because it's going to live for hundreds of years, but that's okay. There's very little competition because there's so much shade, and it grows up and it plugs the hole, and then the canopy is complete. When you clear cut a rainforest, like what happened in Nicaragua in the 1980s, it's a very different situation. They clear cut it in the 80s, and then they kept the forest down and were running cattle. So we bought an old cattle farm in 2013. And this is what happens when you don't do anything. These pioneer trees, they have exposure to sun, which is unnatural relative to a normal rainforest. They grow up really fast, and they don't grow very tall. Like, this is only 20 or 30 feet tall, whereas the canopy tree will get 100 feet tall. And they don't live very long, but they keep reproducing and they keep growing so fast that the canopy trees are unable to get the sun and the space they need to grow. And so then they die and they can't make it through. They can, it takes a few hundred years on their own. And so the clear cutting it devastates the rainforest, but then it makes it extremely difficult for it to regrow. But with our help, we only need to do work and provide assistance for about 8 years, and then the young initial canopy is protected from the pioneer bushes and trees and vines, and then it finishes. And so about 20 years, start to finish, you've got a good rainforest. Of course, it takes another 50 or 100 years for it to be an old growth and epic, but what can you do? So now, just to make sense of what we're looking at, that first tree right here is a Madronio right here, and it's one of it is the best, healthiest, strongest canopy tree that will make up the rainforest in our land. Each land and ecosystem slightly favors different trees. We have cedar, tropical cedar, mahogany, Madronio, a lot of other canopy trees. I know the Spanish names, but I don't know what they are in English. But anyways, Madronio, this tree right here, it's kind of reddish. It's the absolute strongest, healthiest of the canopy trees, but it also needs help. So this guy is about 8 feet tall, 9 feet tall, and if you look up, he's growing great, but these trees right here are going to reduce the sunlight he gets, so he's going to grow a lot slower, and then you just can't go through that pioneer tree canopy. And so what we're going to do right now is we're going to cut down those trees, because this young Madronio, it's ready for full sunlight, and it needs the space in order to grow through. It can't grow through that type of canopy. So there's Herman, our farm manager and amazing dude. He's going to be cutting down. They're called chapernos. That's what they are in Spanish. I don't know what they are called in English, but they grow very fast, and they get up above all the baby canopy trees and just don't allow the canopy trees to get through. So we have to go and cut them down when the canopy trees, or when the baby canopy trees can handle full sun. and each canopy tree has a different sun tolerance, and we've kind of learned what they are over time, and so then we cut the pioneer trees when they're ready for full sunlight. So we cut them down. Now we cut them down into like 8-foot sections, and we move them off to the side of the trail. So if you ever, as you walk through the trail, you see a lot of wood on the side. Those were all pioneer trees that had to be cut down so the canopy trees could grow. This is a 5-foot tall mahogany tree. It's caoba in Espanol, and just growing like a champ. Just absolutely beautiful. And I love it. When you really watch the trees, I want to go back here. It's pretty amazing, but you see each little branch here, right here and here and here, there, it just keeps growing. It grows out, and then a new branch comes out, and it goes up, and it will go up for 100 feet, 120 feet. Just, and then every branch starts as a little shoot, and it just grows, and then you can see here those little shoots, turn into much wider branches. And when you see the bigger trees, they're massive branches. But it all starts with just a little, just growing and growing towards the sun, towards the sunlight. This is another madroño, a little bit bigger than the first one. And I'll show you here the chaperno, a couple of chapernos that are above it. And they are just taking the sunlight. I mean, every leaf is a solar panel, and its energy source is the sun. And so if it's not getting direct sunlight, these canopy trees their engine isn't running at full capacity. So we got to open it up, cut down the chaperno, and give it more sun. We also have to cut down the chaperno so that the madroño that's a vine. Herman's cutting down the vine. We have to cut down the chaperno so there's space for the madroños, because they will get 2 or 3 times as high as this canopy of the chaperno. And the chaperno only lives for like 5 years. But we have to cut it down. Other chapernos will start to grow. We have to cut them down in order to give the canopy tree what it takes to get up above and beyond where the pioneer trees can reach it. So we cut down the chaperno, we're chopping it up, we move it to the side of the trail, and now this madroño is ready to rock. He's going to get a lot more sunlight. You can still see in the morning and in the afternoon, he's still going to get some shade. But in the middle of the day, he's going to get full sun. His solar panels are going to be cranking, and he's got space. And so he's going to be able to grow right into that hole and well beyond, because all these trees you see right here, they're all pioneer trees, and so they're up 20 or 30 feet. The canopy that we're clearing, we're clearing these pioneer trees so the canopy trees can grow 2 or 3 times that high and create a true proper rainforest. And as I said, the pioneer, that chaperno will, in just a couple of years, if we did nothing, a new chaperno would grow up and grow above the madroño and then go over it so that the madroño can't get through. So we have to cut this chaperno, and then we have to keep chopping the baby chapernos because they're so fast, they will just outgrow the madroño. And then after about 8 years, the canopy trees are high enough to where the pioneer trees can't get above them and over them. And then our work is done, and the canopy trees do their thing. So that is that, and I'm going to go into much more detail on the next video. Oh, and this is our forestry work. The Cacao Farm is an incredible place to visit. We only have 4 rooms. We're a long travel day, but we have guests coming from all around the world for a month or 2 months, and they work from the farm. We have good internet. But what's so special about living at the farm for 4 to 8 weeks is it's like a 30-hour day, meaning we have maids that clean your room each day, do your laundry each day, and provide 3 meals. So you don't do dishes, you don't go grocery shopping, you don't cook, you don't do any of that. and the office is on site with internet, so you walk 30 seconds to get to your workplace. So there's no commute, no driving, none of that. Also, the internet is good and fast in the office. It's not very good, and it really does not really reach into the rooms or anywhere else. And that's a virtue because then you have to go to the office and sit there to watch a movie or do social media. And that's kind of the point of visiting is that you're unplugged from that stuff. So if you take all the time you would have spent watching TV, using social media, driving to work, driving to the grocery store, unpacking the car, doing dishes, cooking, all that stuff. Oh, and we have Trained Nannies by Rosalind Ross, who's like this amazing parenting expert. So your kids are with great caretakers. You have many more hours of good energy and time to focus. And that's special because time is the absolute best resource in the world. It's the most valuable resource in the world. And to get multiple hours each day to invest in any way you like. You know, some people come and just focus on work projects they can't get done back at home, and their productivity goes up, and it's good for their career or their business. Some people come and just focus on their bodies, and they do stretching and yoga and exercise every day and take care of their body in ways that they can't back at home. And then some people come and they take that extra time and focus it on their relationships with their family and just getting to connect and be present and nourish those relationships is a very special quality that the farm offers. So um, we love it. My family, we live here, and we really enjoy sharing the experience with guests because it's so profound to have this time and to invest it in areas that would really, really benefit you. So consider visiting. Contact me if you want to check our availability, and we can go from there. All right. Thank you for watching. Talk to you later.